So this morning Kelly's going to be making omelets here that are vegan, and everything is basically made from scratch. So she's making her own egg substitute. You want to tell them how you're doing that? And
I got this mung dal. It's split mung beans. You take a cup of that and soak it in 3 cups of water overnight. You need to be at least 8 hours, and then you drain it. Then you go ahead and you put it in the blender. That's here.
What it looks like after it's soaked.
And then you're gonna put about a cup of whatever kind of milk you like. I've just got an unsweetened almond is what we're using, but you could use a coconut milk or anything like that. I always go, you want the unsweetened because you don't want that sweetness to it. And then you just want to put this on and let it, turn this on and mix it for 30 seconds to a minute just to get it started. And that gets it started. And then I am actually following a recipe on this because you want the flavor to be right. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. So I buy the fine sea salt. So put that in there. And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of, it's a Himalayan black salt. I just have it, and I have a huge container at home, so I just bring a little bit with. This has a sulfur smell to it, so that's going to give you the eggy smell. So 3/4 of a teaspoon of this. And then you want 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. And 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. I can really smell the eggy smell. And then it calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Since I don't have one that says 1/8 of a teaspoon, I just shake some in here. We like black pepper, so I always add it later too. If you have turmeric, I don't have any on the bus with me, unfortunately. You could put up to 1/4 teaspoon in there. That's just going to give you more of the color. If anything, if you start adding more than that, you're going to have too much of the turmeric flavor in there. And then you want a teaspoon of whatever kind of oil you're wanting to use. I'm using my avocado oil again. And then you just want to go ahead and put the lid on, and you mix it for about another minute or two. You just want it to all get mixed up nice. Cut up a little bit of pepper. Onion. Now, if I was home and had all the room in the world, I save all the scraps to make vegetable broth, but since I'm not at home, I'm not saving it. Just gonna cut this thin. It's more than enough for that. Grab a mushroom, rinse it off, dry it a little bit. Some people say you shouldn't wash off mushrooms, that they soak the water in, but I am not eating it if it's not at least washed off. Okay, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and cook in the omelet. Sometimes I'll add spinach if I have it sitting around. I don't have any fresh in the fridge. I do have some in the freezer, but I'd rather have fresh if I was going to use it. So now I'm just going to get this plugged in. Get the pan warming up. Just going to put a little bit of our plant-based butter in here. Peppers, onions, mushrooms. Let this cook up. Take a few minutes for that to cook. Now that the veggies are kind of cooked up, I mean, there's different ways you can make this. You could actually take the veggies out if you want and then put them back in later and fold it inside. I find it's just as easy just to leave that in there. You're going to take your mixture. You just kind of want to pour it over it. You don't want to get it too thick, but you want to get it enough that it's going to cover. Just kind of roll it around the pan a little bit. Then I don't have an actual lid for this, but it's best to go ahead and put something to cover it and let it steam. You're going to let it cook for a couple minutes, and then you're going to flip it over and let it cook for a couple minutes on the other side. And this mixture, when you make it, I can easily get 5 or 6 omelets out of it, and you can just put it in the fridge and it'll last several days. I've had it in there up to a week before, so it's not something that's going to go bad right away. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. We're going to take the lid off here. Let's see how it kind of looks. You just kind of want to take it, shove it underneath there, and flip it. And then we're going to put that lid on at least another minute, up to 2. But I'm going to take my cheese that I have. The kind that I'm using right now is a field roast. This chow one is our favorite. It's really creamy, but you don't have to add cheese if you don't want to.
It's a vegan cheese.
Yes.
It's not a dairy product.
I'm just going to put it on. Just one way or the other with it. And I'll just put the lid back on, let that melt up in there. Okay, this should be done. It's been another couple minutes in there. The cheese has started to melt. So we're just going to go ahead and pull it off here. Oops, flip it over. And then there's your omelet. You can top it however you want. Some people like to put a little bit of salsa on there or something. I like a little bit of green onion across mine. And then this is the time where you can add a little extra salt or pepper if you wish. Okay, I'm not sure where these are from. This is something my mom had purchased us, but I really like these cups. They've got a little vent in them, so it's kind of nice to have that. I use this for soups and all kind of different stuff, but it's a good size just to go ahead and store all of this extra in for me, and then I can just pour a little bit out of it every day.
And the lid locks on, so in an RV, when you're driving on the road, if it falls over, it doesn't leak out everywhere.